Analog Z28 makes you feel like a champion.
All right, off you go.
Daytona Turbo Z. It is an American revolution.
Controlled missiles.
Rotary engaging.
Missile impact in 3 seconds.
300
2
on
seconds.
deploy.
Liquid crystal displays, 14 separate instruments.
With all this paperwork, I can't get anything done.
Hello friends, Hanjammer here. Welcome in another Rusty Bits episode. It's September already, so it's time for episode dedicated to Tandy Corporation and its products. As most of you know, SEPTANDY is the collaborative initiative with the intention to commemorate and celebrate all of Tandy's computer products.
It's everything I need.
Before we get down to it, just a few quick words about Tandy company itself. So without further ado, let's get started. The story begins in 1919, when two friends founded the Hinckley Tandy Leather Company in Texas with a focus on selling leather for shoe repair. After World War II, leathercraft became a popular activity among men returning from the war, both as a hobby and due to the shortage of consumer goods. Thanks to this, the company was successful, and in the 50s it already had about 150 stores selling leather products and leathercraft accessories. It has also started acquiring other companies offering do-it-yourself products for hobbies. The company's story would probably have turned out differently if in 1963 Charles Tandy, the son of the company's founder and its president since 1961, had not purchased the then collapsing Radio Shack mail order company, offering products for radio amateurs and hobbyists. Under the leadership of Tandy, the Radio Shack began to make up for losses. This, and the popularity of leather products among the hippie movement in the 60s, brought the company huge profits. Charles Tandy died in 1978, but he lived to see the first computer of his company, the Tandy Radio Shack 80 or TRS-80, introduced in 1977 in the already well-functioning chain of Radio Shack stores. Due to the affordable price and its functionality, the computer became a very popular machine before the appearance of the IBM PC. Together with Apple and Commodore products, it initiated the personal computer revolution. In 1984, just a year after the appearance of the IBM PC XT, Tandy launches the 1000 model, a clone of the IBM PC Junior, introduced a few months earlier. The computer offers everything that not so successful PC Junior had, including extended CGA modes, digital audio playback, and recording. However, it is better than it, with the standard ISA connectors and a better keyboard. Thanks to its capabilities and attractive price, the 1000 model quickly became extremely popular. Well, after all, it was the first popular multimedia computer. The Tandy 1000 had many different versions and its production continued until 1993. Let's take a closer look at the TL2 model, which I will present to you in a moment. TL2 was released in 1990 for $1,299 US. The CM11 color monitor cost almost $400 US and the mouse cost around $50. The price of a full set in 1990 was around $1,750 US, the equivalent of about $3,660 in 2021. Not a small amount, but also not that much compared to other machines at this time. I spotted my TL2 in my colleague's storage in 2019 and already then I declared my will to buy it. This happened only in the spring of this year. Tandy computers were sold mainly in the United States and Canada. In Europe they are much less known and in Poland they are hardly known at all, which is a pity. Finding one locally, just a few kilometers from my home, was a big surprise. The computer is in good visual condition, but it's quite dirty. We will fix it in a moment. What stands out is the nameplate, informing about the need to power the computer from 120V 60Hz mains. Under the power supply we find DIN sockets for keyboard and 2 joysticks. In addition, the RS232 serial port led out on the DE9 connector. The parallel port of the printer has an unusual edge connector. The female DE9 socket is used to connect the monitor. Next to it, we have 5 slots for expansion cards. Included with the computer was Tandy CM11 monitor. These monitors were produced by Philips, and we see a typical ailment: no door to cover the image adjustment knobs. I didn't got the Tandy enhanced keyboard with my computer. To my surprise, I was able to buy it last month on Allegro, the Polish auction service. Surprisingly, no one but me placed a bid, and I got it strangely cheap. The keyboard has been under this rubber cover all of its life, so it looks like new. The Tandy enhanced keyboard itself is great, and is widely considered to be almost as good as the IBM Model M. The keyboard has Fujitsu peerless switches. They feel similar to those known from the Model M. In addition, unlike most variants of the Model M, it is compatible with XT and AT protocols, and their switching is automatic. Let's take a look inside the computer. The housing is removed after unscrewing 2 bolts, one on each side. Just bend it slightly from the bottom and pull it forward. It couldn't be much easier. There is one desk-made floppy disk in the drive. Unfortunately, I didn't receive the rest of them with the computer. We have 4 8-bit ISA slots on the board. Empty deep sockets are used to expand the computer's memory. On the front of the computer, the audio interface board catches your eye. We also have a single 720KB double density floppy disk drive and a power supply. Unfortunately, there is no bracket for mounting the second drive, which should be in the housing. It was probably removed along with the hard drive. The floppy drive itself is unusual. It is powered by the ribbon cable, and unfortunately this leads to a number of problems. Any mistake in connecting it ends up in damaging the floppy drive and/or the computer. I knew about it for some time, still I learned it the hard way shortly after recording this material. Let's start disassembling the machine. There is a plastic cover on the back of the computer. When disassembling it, be careful not to break the plastic latches. In my machine, one of them has already been broken off in the past. The power supply is hooked to the upper ledge of the computer's back and attached to it with 2 screws. In the past, as you can see, it was dismantled by someone and reassembled carelessly. Although the computer's architecture is based on XT, the board has an 8 MHz 286 processor. There is also a floppy drive controller, an XT-IDE hard drives controller, also known as 8-bit IDE. We will also find a custom Tandy PSSJ chip responsible for sound and peripheral devices support, and a ROM containing DOS and DeskMate software. Yes, in this PC, DOS is located in the ROM. The motherboard is quite dusty. I always use anti-static brushes with long, soft bristles to clean this type of the PCBs. Do not use anti-static brushes like this one for this purpose. They are suitable for removing flux residues after soldering, but not for dust. They are too hard and can easily damage small components. To remove dust, this type of brush is everything I need.
It's everything I need.
The motherboard is cleaned. It's time to finish the disassembly. Perhaps the most striking feature of the Tandy 1000 computers is the integrated 3-voice synthesizer based on the Texas Instruments SN76496 chip. This interface is used for sound input and output. There is a headphone and microphone connector, a reset button, a connector for the system speaker, and a potentiometer that regulates its volume. I clean the plastic and metal parts of my computer with a universal detergent for plastics. The all-purpose cleaners are also perfect for this task. As for the computer casing, the green variant of the sealed bank, and yes, I am well aware how funny this name is for the English speakers, is everything I need.
It's everything I need.
To effectively remove even the most stubborn dirt from rough surfaces. I do not know a better housing cleaner. You can say, I really love a good bang. The inside of the PSU is exceptionally clean and requires no special care. It's time to reassemble. The procedure is the reverse of disassembly, so I will spare you the details. For tests, instead of the original CRT monitor, we will use a modern one. To connect it to the Tandy 1000 graphic interface, we will use RGB to HDMI that I received recently from one called Zaxxon. It is an absolutely indispensable gadget in the arsenal of every fan of vintage PCs. It allows you to display an image from MDA Hercules, CGA, EGA, Tandy graphics cards on modern monitors, and it does it perfectly. You can find a link to the project's website in the description below. We will use this 3D printed case, which is a slightly modified design I found on Thingiverse. Because the computer is powered from the 220V mains, I have to use an auto-transformer, reducing the voltage from European power grid. This particular one is a cheap Chinese model without an inverter. So instead of 60 Hz, the frequency of the current will still be European 50 Hz. This is not an ideal choice and may cause problems with some devices or even cause damage, so you should be aware of it before deciding on using one. It's time to turn on the machine. As you can see, the system and deskmate desktop environment startup takes a very short time. Despite the age of the computer, the real-time clock is not affected by the Millennium bug and correctly handles dates after year 2000. We will return to the deskmate itself in the next episode. And now, a moment about the upgrades that I will equip this machine with. The computer doesn't have a hard disk, and the 720KB floppy disk drive prevents efficient transfer of files from a modern PC. The GOTEK floppy disk emulator will make this task easier. The original drive stopped working after the episode was recorded, so at this point I'm forced to use it anyway. As a hard drive, I can use, for example, Seagate ST-351AX compatible with the XT-IDE interface. Another option is to use the XT-CF-Lite card that integrates the XT-IDE Universal BIOS with a compact flash card reader. Due to the quite saturated memory map in the Tandy 1000, a quite specific configuration of the addresses of this card is required. I mentioned earlier that the computer's RAM can be expanded. Tandy 1000TL has a standard 640KB of RAM, but is shared with the VDL adapter. For this reason, there is less of it for the operating system and running programs than in the standard IBM PC clone. This can be remedied by extending it by an additional 128KB. Chips with the right parameters are most often found on graphic cards such as this Hercules clone. Fortunately, I have few broken cards like this to get them from. The last thing is the mouse. I don't have Tandy's original mouse yet, but I think this one will work just as well. And that's all for today. See you soon in the next Rusty Bits episode, in which we will discuss the features of Tandy 1000TL2 in more detail. Bye!